Hello and welcome to the Browns post-game show. The roadman Kenny Rhoda here with you, and whew, boy, I'm exhausted after watching that game. I mean, a fun game to watch, obviously. Anytime you have, 47 plus 42, 89 points scored in a Monday night nationally televised game, it's a fun game to watch. So if you weren't a Browns fan, if you weren't a Ravens fan, and you just want to watch a fun football game, you got that. If you're a Ravens fan, you're loving the ending. If you're a Browns fan, this one hurts because the Brownies were as good as the Ravens. They really were. And they had a number of chances maybe to pull this one out. We'll get into these areas where they didn't get it done, and it ends up costing them the game 47-42. And how about the backdoor cover on that sucker? I don't know if anybody watching out there bet on the game tonight, but I think the spread was 3, and it's 45-42 as the Browns take the snap on that last play. And with the safety of Landry going out of the end zone, it makes it a 5-point deficit. So if you took the Ravens, okay, you just won. You covered by 2. If you had the Browns, it was a push. You would have got some of your money back. Just a crazy night of football on Monday Night Football with the Browns and the Ravens doing battle. The Brownies lose 47-42. They fall to 9-4 on the year. 3 games left. We'll get into those a little later on, but we're going to answer your questions, react to your comments on Twitter and on Facebook. Send them in right now. Just load them up and send them in, and I'll get to as many of them as I possibly can. I have no idea how late we're going to go. We'll go until there's no more comments or no more questions to be answered, because here in the Eastern time zone, it's midnight. It's about to strike midnight right now. Out on the left coast in Hollywood, I think it's a 3-hour time difference. Let me check in with our own Secret Service agent from Warehouse 13 in Hollywood, our good friend, actor extraordinaire, Eddie McClintock. What time is it there, Eddie? Is it 9 o'clock your time out there in L.A.?
Hey, Kenny. Yeah, 9 o'clock.
All right, so I was right. I get a ding for that. Way to go, Kenny. I know my time zones. All right, Eddie, you got your Tribe hat on, and maybe later we'll talk about them changing their name. You got your Browns jersey on tonight. You watched this as a Browns fan.
Spielman.
Yeah, Chris Spielman jersey. Nice. Mr. Maslin. As a Browns fan, what's going through your mind before the game starts? They're on national TV, right? They're relevant again. They're a playoff caliber team. As this game unfolds and then the way it ends. Take me through it as a Browns fan out there in Hollywood.
Nervous all day. Trying not to think about it. We've been in this position before where, the worst thing for me is when I have expectations for the Cleveland Browns. In the past, expectations have meant, complete and utter humiliation.
Right.
So I just wanted them to show up and have a good game. And as the game progressed, first of all, when they drove the ball down and scored right away, which again they've done in the past. They go down the field, they score, and then they don't score again for the rest of the game. But that wasn't the way it went. The Browns have come a long way, but you just cannot give up 124 yards rushing to a quarterback. Turn the ball over, miss field goals and extra points, and expect to win this type of game. The Cody Parkey. I know he's a human, but
yeah,
it's like you have one job, brother, one job, and to miss the extra point and chip shot, relatively a chip shot field goal. And then you hate to see the game end on the way it did there with the throwing the ball around. It looks silly, and
Yeah, it's frustrating, Eddie, because they did a lot of things right? I mean, they did. They did a lot of things right, and they were right there. But unfortunately, and I go back to the Kenny and JT show on WHBC Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Normally, I have my banner up behind me, but it's too damn late to put that up. I'm in the office tonight. JT and I mentioned at the beginning of the year, we expected them to be in a lot of these shootout games because the defense isn't very good, right? That's the part where they really didn't address it as much in the offseason. So we thought, you know what, they're going to have to outscore teams in the 30s, 35-31, 31-28, 42-35, right? So tonight, unfortunately, we saw that defense is still the same bad defense that was there at the beginning of the year against the good teams. You can get away with it against the crappy teams, right, and win some games. But you can't do it again. They escaped last week against the Titans, right?
Yeah.
Titans almost came back and won. But tonight, Lamar, I don't know. Do we know for sure? Was it cramps? Did he have to go take a crap? I don't know why
Yeah, he said he was cramping.
Yeah, I've heard that before, though. That's that. Now maybe we'll find out it was cramps, or maybe he had the runs.
Sometimes when I have to poop, I get a cramp. So
yeah, there you go. Right. So we'll find out. But he comes out, and on fourth down, and I'm getting some, messages coming in, comments coming in here. I'll just throw them up for you, Eddie, so you can see. Here's from William White, who's watching us. Browns D blew it. Yeah, fourth and whatever it was there. And he comes in, 4th and 4, I think it was. And he comes in, and he only needs 5 for the first down, and it looked like the Browns thought he was going to run it. They all sucked up to come at him, and then he lofted it with his he had about 4 good passes all night, and that goes for a touchdown. We got another one here from PTFD 3591. This defense is terrible, 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 as Charles Barkley would say. Yes, not good. There were numerous times tonight, Eddie, where the defense had a chance to get off the field, and they couldn't. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 10, 4th and 4. You know what I mean? And that's just who they are, unfortunately, right now. They're not a good defensive team. Baker, tip of the cap to Baker Mayfield, played his ass off tonight. He throws the interception. They're down by 14, and he blocks it out of his mind, comes back, boom, boom, 2 touchdowns. They take a 35-34 lead, right? Then Baltimore comes right back. And Baltimore, regains the lead, 42-35. Baker comes down, 4 plays, boom, 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 47 seconds, touchdown. The only problem there was they scored too soon with this defense. Your best chance was to try and run the clock down as much as possible, get it to overtime, get the ball in overtime, score a touchdown, and don't give the ball back to Lamar Jackson and the Ravens offense. So just the defense is really, really bad, and it is a major work in progress. It was 4th and 5, says PT FD 3591. All right, so 4th and 5. I was off by a yard. Thanks for the correction there. Appreciate that. But having said all that, and thinking about this game, the Browns have 3 left at 9 and 4. If they win 2 out of the 3, which I think they will, okay, 11 wins is going to get them in the playoffs. Yeah, there was still a chance if they won tonight. Pittsburgh stinks right now that they might come back and win the division. Well, that pretty much went out the window right now. Okay, so you're just focused now on trying to make the playoffs. But they showed last week they could play with Tennessee, a playoff team. They showed tonight that they could play with Baltimore, a playoff team. So they are making those steps to becoming a playoff team, and you're going to have some painful reminders that you're not quite there, if you know what I mean, yet. And tonight was one of them because of the defense.
Yeah, I mean, the game rests on, Baker's shoulders every time in the offense, every game, How many times did we hear the great Myles Garrett's name get called tonight? I think he had 1 tackle and 1 assist.
He did not have a big game. Now, I didn't focus on him a lot to see how much he was being double-teamed and if that allowed Olivier Vernon to have the big game that he did, Sheldon Richardson to make some plays. But in a game of this magnitude, a player of that caliber, Eddie, fair point on your part, he's got to make a sack. He's got to get a stop, a tackle for a loss. he picked up his jock strap, his socks, his pants, his jersey, his shoulder pads on that one fake by Lamar Jackson. Yeah, he did that. And granted, he's coming off COVID, second game back off COVID, right? So you got to wonder. But hey, in fairness,
Jackson just off COVID.
Right. Now maybe that's why he had cramps because coming off the COVID, his body wasn't back in shape yet. Maybe it was the cramps or maybe it was the runs. Who knows? Whatever it was. But yeah, there were two guys there that dealt with COVID coming back, and you could see maybe they weren't 100% just yet. If you get,
Yeah.
So. But you're right. Myles Garrett's got to make some type of play in a game of this magnitude tonight, and he didn't.
Yeah, I mean, for the amount of money he's making, you got to make more than one tackle and one assist in this type of game. I mean, even if he's getting double teamed,
Right.
Easy for me to say.
Right.
Sitting on my couch, but. The big players in the league, they rise up and they do what they need to do. I don't know. I mean, I'm not giving up on him, but I wish he'd have showed up a little more.
I'm willing, and it's probably going to sound like an excuse, but based on the COVID situation, I don't want to say I'll give him a pass, but maybe that had something to do with it. I'll just leave it at that. But having said that, our old intern, Dean Palucci, 84, says, if you score 42 points, your defense should help you out. Can't allow 47 and expect to win. Bingo, Dino. Bingo on that. I got you, man. Another one here coming in. JNSTE, fan 77. Draft all defense and a kicker. Nice job, you effing kicker. Remember that from, what was it, Hard Knocks a few years ago?
Right.
Dropping the F-bombs on the kicker. But, yeah, I mean, a field goal and an extra point. That's 4 points right there. And before the safety, you lost by 3. So, but then again, you don't know if they go for 2, if he makes the extra point, so, but still, you got to make that field goal. You can't afford to have a missed field goal like that.
And basically a pick 6.
Yeah, it was down to the 1. That's true. It's a good point there. Has Baker shown enough against top teams to solidify him as a starter of the future? I think so at this point, right?
I think so, yeah.
What are the numbers there at the bottom of the screen? He threw for over 300. He ran for a touchdown, threw for 2, had the 1 interception, his first interception in 187 passes. I think if you're talking about picking up his 5th-year option, which will be about $20 to $25 million, yeah, I think he's done enough for the Browns to at least pick up that option and then see if they want to give him a bigger contract after that as the franchise quarterback. Don't you think so? I mean, based on what we've seen the last few weeks?
Yeah, I mean, as we've been doing, buying stock in Baker over the last few weeks, and I was going to buy 4. I mean, to me, yeah, he had that one throw, a couple of blocked knockdown passes. He's short, as we know, but you know what? The kid is a gamer, and he proved to me tonight that he's able to take the ball and drive the ball when he needs to make it happen. I think I'll ride with him.
All right, some tweets that have come in, Eddie. Let's see here. Wow. Well, I can't read that one. No, let's see which ones I can read here. Let's see. Entertaining game for someone with neither horse in the race. As for being legit, I don't think so. Talented, yes, but I think the young team feels the playoff jitters, and Parkey definitely won't be able to handle it. First round loss. Exciting team, though. Yeah, you know what? Was that me or you? You get
sorry. Yeah.
No, that's all right.
It's my agent.
You got to take that, man.
Spielberg.
Let's see here. What do we got here? Are you in your son's room? No, this is my office. That's my office with all my memorabilia behind me. And who did that come from? That was your favorite Christian. Are you in your son's room? No, this is my office with all my Ohio State and Roberto Clemente memorabilia and my Chris Farley poster that JT got me. It's a man living in a van down by the river. It's pretty sweet. It's a painting, man. It's pretty sweet. So there you go on that. It's my office. Let's see what else. Kenny, do you think if they played 5 quarters, Joe Woods have figured out how to contain Lamar Jackson? Maybe not. That's what Lamar does, right? When he's at his best, that's what he does. He just drops back to throw, and if the guy isn't open right away, he's about to take off and run, and that's what he does best. And so, it's tough. You could say they should have had a spy on him, but their linebacker stinks, so I don't know who would have spied him. Mac Wilson was sure as hell wasn't going to be to him. He got run over on one touchdown run.
Yeah.
I don't know. The defense just isn't that good. That's the bottom line in all of it. We can sit here and analyze this and Joe Woods that and should have Stefanski called a timeout before the field goal at the end of the game and all that. Bottom line is their defense isn't that good, and they didn't have the ball last tonight. Technically they did, but you know what I mean. They didn't have the chance to score last.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like the earlier post said, draft all defensive players and a kicker.
Yeah. Here's one. Again, Zendejo shows up in the camera frame at the end of every play. Can't go far with him. That's my guy that I pick on every week, and he deserves to be picked on. He got beat numerous times. That's how bad the Browns team. He is still starting. We're 13 games into this, and Andrew Zendejo is still starting. That's how bad they are on the back end. They just are. And so, I mean, that's where Andrew Berry in the offseason, he's got to address linebacker, and he's got to address the secondary. Those are the 2 biggest needs, either via trade, via free agency, the draft, or all of the above.
Well, what are we going to do about, Greedy Williams and Grant Delpit? We don't even know if they're players, if
right.
They can lead.
And I hate to say it, but Denzel Ward misses 3 to 4 games every year too. When he's out there, he's outstanding, but he's not out there all the time. You can't count on him. Greedy Williams with the shoulder, he's not going to play at all this year, so you still have question marks about that second-round pick. Delpit with a torn Achilles? I mean, that's not easy to come back from either, especially when you're playing in the secondary. So, those are fair points on guys that they did address the defense with, but they're not getting anything out of them. So, I mean, it is a major concern. Nick Chubb, Kareem Hunt, outstanding again tonight, right? Seems like every game we're talking about how good they are as a tandem, that Mac Biner tandem that we compare them to. And if you look at the numbers here on the bottom of the screen, Chubb, I think he had 82 yards rushing and 2 TDs. You had Hunt with over 110 total yards and 2 TDs. So 4 touchdowns and almost 200 yards of offense from that dynamic duo. Pretty sweet, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah. They're so much fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
Just and they both fall forward. They always fall forward, and so hopefully they'll stick around here in Cleveland for a while.
Well, you got Chubb for at least 2, and you've got Hunt for at least 2 more. So that's part of the offense that you're building it around Baker with. I thought Rashard Higgins did a nice job. He fumbled early in the game twice, but they recovered both, right? But he had 6 more grabs, I think, for 68 yards and a touchdown. Again, I don't think they really missed OBJ, to be perfectly honest with you. I mean, spreading the ball around.
Not for $13 million or whatever, right.
Exactly. So
Higgins had a drop too, didn't he? I think he had one drop.
Yeah, and Landry is a nice slot receiver. They did a couple of things with him. The reverse pass or whatever you want to call that at this point. But offensively, they're fine. The O-line is fine. The tight ends are fine. The receivers, I think, are fine even without OBJ. The running back and the quarterback are fine. Offensively, like our one comment we got here, if you score 42 points, you should win the game. When you put 42 up, I don't care if it's high school, college, or the pros. If you put 42 up, you should win I guess, unless you're in the Big 12, okay? Or if you're Michigan, because if you score 42, you probably gave up 82. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Speaking of Michigan, I can't remember the guy's name, and it's killing me, but the guy from Michigan who was playing safety last year, we traded for OBJ.
Oh, Julius Peppers.
Peppers.
Yes.
He's having a hell of a year this year too.
With the Giant, well, you're going to see him next week.
Yep.
Get to see him as the Browns take on the Giants next week. So we'll get to see if he can make a play against his former team. Here's our good friend Connie Bednarzik. That one hurt. Defense needs help. It's one loss as long as they make the playoffs. And if you're being realistic about this team, there were expectations on tonight's game because they had won 4 in a row. They had never won 5 in a row since they came back in 1999. Outside chance of winning the division, which they haven't done since like 89 or 88, whatever it's been, right? So that you had all those expectations and the hype was there, and it's a prime time game, and the offense is clicking. How about the opening drive, man? Was that a thing of beauty or what?
Yeah.
Kevin Stefanski was magnificent in scripting those plays like a hot knife through butter right down the field, 7-0. I'm going, okay, great. Then they come back, they can score on the second drive, and that's when Parkey missed that field goal, and that kind of changed the complexion or the momentum of the game on that missed field goal, because at least you would have been 2 for 2 in drives with points scored.
Yeah, I mean, my buddies and I were texting, and we were all kind of like the Browns. It's kind of like,
right,
here we are, here's your moment, and that's right. But no, they're not the same Browns team. I believe that it's easy to fall back into that just after years and years of depression and misery. So I'm still trying to shake that off. So.
All right, some people are taking me to task on Twitter about questioning Kevin Stefanski. How dare I question him about not taking the time out there with Justin Tucker. Ed Magnolia says, you really think you were going to freeze that kicker? I get it. He's one of the best in the business, right? Maybe one of the best of all time. But he did have a kick blocked, if I remember correctly, earlier in the game on an extra point, which is a lot closer. Usually when you kick from distance, the ball's a little bit lower, so you get more foot into it. I still would have called the timeout there. He probably still would have. You can't take him with you. What are you going to do? Go play poker tonight and say, yeah, I'll raise you that timeout I kept in my pocket that I didn't use in the game tonight. So I would have called it just to make him think about it. Why not? I don't know if they had 1 or 2 left at that point. I think 1. I'm not sure. If it was 1 or 2, I would have used them both. That's just me, aggressive
game. That's the game. I mean, that's how it's played.
So, but hard to question Kevin Stefanski with the job that he's done this year, but it's fair to in those situations. And I'm curious to see what the post-game comments are. If anybody asks him that after the game. I
mean, if he takes the timeout and he misses the field goal and then comes back and hits it the next, then it's it's so either way. I mean, but still, I think for me, I would have if you have that card to play, you play it. But I'm not questioning it.
Mary Beth Weaver, good game, fun game. Mary Beth, absolutely entertaining game. My old college roommate John Carpus was watching in Toronto. My other fraternity brother Pat Plaucha was watching. Where's he, in Lodi or Westfield? Dennis Meek, another fraternity brother, and we're all texting, in a chain throughout all of this about how exciting the game was. And McSorley comes in, he looks like crap, then he goes down with the injury. Then Willis Reed, Lamar Jackson comes out of the locker room, and he throws the game-winning touchdown pass, and J.K. Dobbins, OHIO with the 2-point conversion, there at the end. So
did you see the hit Sendejo put on Dobbins there as he was going into the end zone? See?
Yeah. As he was going into the end zone is the key part of your phrase right there, Eddie McClintock. As he was going That's my guy. He's always around the ball when it's going in the end zone. But all in all, the Browns, they'll be upset. Fans are going to be upset, and I understand it. I get it. But they proved they can play with a team that was 14-2 last year, a playoff team from last year. They being Baltimore, they needed this game more than the Browns did tonight, right? Yeah. Baltimore had to win this and win out to have a shot at getting back into the playoffs.
Right.
The Browns could afford even though you don't want to, they could afford this loss. As long as they win 2 out of the next 3, then they're going to be in the play. So they were a little bit more desperate, maybe, and people are going to say, well, that's the Browns' luck. Lamar Jackson, for whatever the reason is, whether it's cramps or taking a dump or whatever he had to do, of course he comes back out on 4th down. They need one play. All we need is one pin, Rodney, right? All they needed was one defensive play. And Jackson hobbles over, gets his helmet, comes out, and he throws a 44-yard touchdown pass, or however long that thing was, to the guy who couldn't catch it earlier in the game. So, all right. So, take a deep breath now. Moving forward, we always ask this question. Where are you with the Browns? Are you a believer in the Browns? Are you buying stock in the Browns? Did they do enough tonight, even in defeat, Eddie, to make you feel good about, A, this team making the playoffs for sure this year, and B, having a chance to beat, depending on who they play, somebody in the playoffs this year?
Well, I think, if the season has proved anything here in 2020, anybody's beatable, as you know, on a Sunday. So
right.
I think that the Browns are very they're poised to go ahead and they could win all 3 of these games, and I think they could win a playoff game. But again, it depends on how Baker plays and how the offense plays, because we have to assume that the defense is going to give up a lot of points every week.
Right.
So, I'm a believer, man. This is the best Cleveland Browns football I've seen in since when? 99?
2002 to 02 when they made the playoffs.
Okay, I mean, yeah. How often have we been this far into the season and still be and still have a chance to be, do something? So,
right.
I'm a believer. Baker showed me a lot tonight, and the defense is they're the cross we'll have to bear.
All right, got to give some shout outs now. I'm using multiple devices to get all the messages, okay? My StreamYard that we do this studio in, I get some of the messages via Facebook and Twitter through WHBC that pop up here. I got to go to my phone. Look at that. It's weird. There I am. There you are. There I am and you are. And then if you look close, anyways. So to get other messages here, Craig Easterday, Mike Sharrow are watching us. That's Big Mike. He's been on Pawn Stars and all that. Yeah. The local dude. He's got the Cuckoo's Nest out in Sugar Creek, Ohio. We got to hook you up with him when he's out, taping some stuff. Well, he goes to Vegas to tape Pawn Stars and some of his other stuff. But,
I love that show. I love that.
Phenomenal show. So he's been on that. So Big Mike and Craig Easterday, who always watches us, thanks. Billy Blystone Jr., Myles Garrett was getting grabbed. They were holding his face mask, according to Billy, that he saw on some of these plays. Craig Easterday says the defense needed to control Lamar Jackson, and they couldn't get it done. They let him run all over the field. I give the Browns credit from coming back from 14 down. It's just our luck that McSorley would get hurt. If he hadn't, Jackson wouldn't have been in the game. Disappointed that we can't beat teams in our own division. Now we're on to New York, per Bill Belichick. Yeah, it's on to the Giants. That's the next one. Let's see here. Ken Dworsnik, unreal game. Looking forward to the rest of the season. Jim Kadar, Swiss cheese defense, doesn't cut it. Dale Milano, what's up, Dale? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Dale Milano, FYI, the Browns are 0-5 against the spread versus our division. Laugh out loud. There's a little nugget for you if you're a wagering individual. If you like the taste.
I don't know what any of that stuff is. Thank God.
I don't know. Dude, I don't have enough money to begin with. I can't be giving it away betting on things like this. Mike Sharrow says Super Bowl 55 will be KC and Green Bay. So he's taking the Packers and the Chiefs, which would be a rematch of what would that be? Super Bowl 1 or 2, I think, possibly, going back.
Yeah.
Hugh Haggerty, are you allowed to use 2 consecutive timeouts without running a play? Yes. So you could have called timeout and time. If you had 2 in your pocket, you could have called back-to-back timeouts on those field goal attempts if you wanted to. Yes, Hugh, you are. Let's see here.
You did have 2 timeouts left.
You did? Okay.
No, I'm asking. So
according to that, text that I just got. Yeah. Jim Kadar, Don Strock could have come out for Baltimore and still beat that defense. Don Strock, what's the Coming to America? Joe Louis, 137 years old. Don Strock, 137 years, and he would have scored a touchdown tonight. Hugh Haggerty, again, this was a fantastic game, Kenny. Both teams proudly represented the AFC North. I think the new name of the baseball team should either be the Cleveland Rockers or the Cleveland Bulldogs. You were the first one to text me last night about that.
Yeah. I'm disappointed. I think that did I lose you, Kenny? Kenny? Kenny?
Oh, I'm back. And we're back. Hey, holy cow. What the hell was that? I have no idea what that was. No idea what happened there. There's Eddie. I'll bring him back in now. There you go.
Hello?
Yeah, Twilight Zone, Rod Serling.
Yeah.
Dimension in time. Where were we?
About the Indians.
Yes. You were the first one to text me last night when that New York Times story broke. I knew it was going to happen. So for me, that wasn't that big of a story. They made it out to be a big story and all that. I knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when they were going to announce that they were going to change the name. I'm not as hung up on it as others are. But we'll see what they're going to keep it through 2021. Okay. As that hat you have on, Chief Wahoo's gone. So they've already phased that out. The Indians name more than likely by 2022 will no longer be associated with Cleveland. Do you have a preference with a name? Have you given it any thought, Eddie?
The Cleveland Steamers.
The Steamers. The Cleveland Steamers.
Okay. Google Cleveland Steamer.
What is it? Just tell me. I don't have time to Google it. My internet might shut down again. Yeah, no. Okay. I'll Google it then. Let's see what else we have here. Moving right along, as they say. Hugh Haggerty, great show. Paul Nagel's checking us out tonight. What's up, Paul? John Granisic. Tell Dolan, I can't see, a trick bag punk. See, when I worked with Reg Eye at KNR, we did this thing called Bump and Run. And you had to just fire away with your comments on whatever we were talking about. And we'd always get these guys listening that would want to drop the sexual toy reference into the conversation on a regular basis. Yeah, I mean, come on. Isn't that what everybody talks about? And so we would call them trick bag punks. So John, who was a TBP or trick bag punk, just dropped in a little dildo reference there. There, I said it for you. Okay. Yeah, I know. What else do we have here? Roadman. Do you think the Browns will beat the Steelers in week 16, 17, whatever that is? Hard to say, because here's what. The Steelers look like crap, okay? They can't run it. Their secondary is not good. They're hurt. They got 4 linebackers that are out with injury. Now, they play the Bengals this week. So that's an automatic W for them, right? So that puts them at 12-2. The Browns, if they win next week, will be 10-3. That game may not mean anything to the Steelers the last week now, right? Where if the Browns would have won tonight, that could have maybe decided the division. So I can't say yet whether or not I think the Browns will beat the Steelers or the Steelers will beat the Browns, because I don't know who's going to be playing yet in that game. So let's wait and get to that point and see if the Steelers play their starters or don't even need to play their starters that game, and then go from there. Here's the key. Forget the Steeler game. Beat the Giants and the Jets and you're in the playoffs. That's what kind of matters right now, right? I mean, if we're being realistic about it, yeah, be nice to beat the Steelers if you're a Browns fan and all that, especially if it means something. But win these next two games against an under 500 Giants team and a winless Jets team, and then maybe that Steelers game won't mean as much for either team.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Absolutely. And I mean, you can't look ahead. It's just like you just go to the next game. If you win that one, go to the next game.
I mean, here's the schedule.
Then we play the Steelers.
Yeah, there's your schedule. December 20th, Giants. December 27th, Jets, both on the road. And then January 3rd, Steelers at home. Those are the remaining games for the Browns. So, fun night to watch Monday Night Football. We're a little after 12:30 Eastern time here. Just some final thoughts, Eddie McClintock, and then we'll let you get back to normal life in Hollywood, California there.
I'm looking forward to the next 3 weeks, actually. I think the Browns have come a long way. I'm happy with their growth. I think the defense is what it is. We're not going to see anything different from the defense, I don't think, in the remaining 3 weeks. There's nothing they can do to, I don't know, shift around and try and make things better. I doubt it. We just have to win by scoring a lot of points. And I think tonight they proved that they can do that. So let's get 3 more W's. Well, let's get 1 more.
Right.
So I'm in. I'll be watching.
Yeah. Hey, good news tonight. Cavaliers preseason. They beat the Pacers 116-106. So, that's good. Their season starts up here on the 23rd against Charlotte at home. Little love to the Cavaliers tonight. Mentioned the Indians and the name change. But I saw Emilio Estevez doing some pub for the Mighty Ducks. Your TV show. Yeah, there was some social media stuff for our listeners that are just, tuning in and haven't heard us talk about, what you're doing out there in Hollywood acting-wise. Tell them a little bit about the Mighty Ducks TV show that we're all waiting to see.
Obviously the new show will be centered around the first 2 movies. Emilio Estevez comes back and is reprising his role as
Gordo, isn't it Gordo? Gordon something?
I believe so. Yeah, I can't remember because I've already moved on to bigger projects, Kenny. I can't dwell on the past. But I play the dad to the lead kid, and if the show gets some legs this season, I'll be back next season with them. So. And
that's on Disney, right?
Yeah, Disney Plus.
Disney Plus, and that's blowing up, man. Right? With all these streaming outlets and everything. Like I have YouTube TV, right? So I go to watch the Cavs Saturday night. We dropped Sports Time Ohio and Fox Sports Ohio, so I couldn't watch the Cavs game. JT, he's got DirecTV. He doesn't have NBC, so he's not going to be able to watch the Browns next Sunday night on NBC. So all these different, outlets, DirecTV and streaming, they're screwing us all, Eddie. I'm pissed off at all of them.
He's got DirecTV and doesn't get NBC?
A local NBC channel.
What?
Yeah, that's for whatever reason. Again,
Congressman.
Exactly. Gordon Bombay. I knew it was Gordo. Gordon Bombay from the Mighty Ducks movie and now TV series. So let us know. Keep us up to date on that and any other projects you have going on out there in Hollywood, California. All right, buddy?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, Kenny. It's a pleasure, and go Browns.
All right. We'll talk to you next Sunday after a Browns victory over the Giants. All right?
Thank you for having me, Kenny.
Always a pleasure. There he is, our Secret Service agent, Warehouse 13, Mr. Hollywood, Eddie McClintock, checking in on the Browns postgame show. All right, that's going to do it, folks. I got to go write a story for the website, WHBC.com. We'll get ready for the Kenny and JT show to talk more about this tomorrow. A tough loss for the Browns, an exciting game to watch, but they come up short. The defense still stinks. The offense is outstanding. We'll see what happens next week against the Giants. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your questions, your comments, even you trick bag punks out there. And we'll talk to you. How about this? We'll talk to you this Saturday after Ohio State beats Northwestern in the Buckeyes postgame show, OHIO. And that will put the Buckeyes in the college football playoff. So after the game Saturday, look for us on Facebook and Twitter. talking Buckeyes. And then Sunday, after the Giants lose to the Browns, we'll do this all over again on the Browns post-game show. All right? Until then, hey, do me a favor out there, everybody. Please, 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 even though the vaccine is out there now and some people are starting to get it with this coronavirus stuff, hey, wash your damn hands, wear your damn mask, social distance, and treat others like you want to be treated. It really is that simple, folks. See you. Bye.